Alright, so we got an interesting topic to talk about today regarding Sonic Frontiers and really Sonic Team's philosophies in general and why they don't like to cater to a lot of us. As well as, I want to say news, but I covered this back in January, but it's come up again with a bit more info. Essentially, a mobile tie-in game may be coming as well. So we're going to get into all of this right now. But if you're subscribed to the channel already, please make sure to subscribe. We are trying to hit 100,000 subscribers and hopefully 7,000 subscribers before Sonic Frontiers comes out. So we're going to quickly talk about this Frontiers mobile game tie-in thing, and then we could talk about this main topic. So it says here, Sega's Hardlight studio is working on a new Sonic mobile game. A new job listing reveals the UK studio's latest project. The listing, which was posted on GameIndustry.biz's jobs board, is titled Lead Artist New Sonic Game. It reads, Sega Hardlight is looking for a lead artist who can drive both the art and the art team on a new, exciting and ambitious, narrative-driven platform game. You could be an art environment lead with a proven track record or a senior artist looking for a step up in the career. As a lead artist, you'll be at the forefront of one of our new titles. You will help drive both the artistic vision and the internal art team to produce high quality art through effective communication, collaboration, detailed planning, and active mentorship. You will be hands-on, creating highly compelling artwork that meets the visual and technical requirements of the game while serving as the benchmark for artistic excellence and work ethic. This don't sound like Sega at all. You will understand the limitations of a mobile game, but still push the quality towards console levels. Being part of Sega, you enjoy and have experience in creating stylized art, exciting worlds, and colorful characters. The UK-based Hardlight studio has already been responsible for 6 Sonic mobile games over the past decade, including 3 Endless Runners, Sonic Dash, Sonic Dash 2 Sonic Boom, and Sonic Forces Speed Battle. Other Hardlight developed Sonic mobile games include Sonic Jump Fever, and Sonic Racing, the latter being an Apple Arcade exclusive. Earlier this year, Sega also released Sonic Dash Plus on Apple Arcade. This redesigned version of the original Sonic Dash removes all microtransactions, meaning players have to earn extra characters via gameplay and timed events. That was the whole appeal of Apple Arcade, is that you pay a one-time monthly fee, you get access to all these games, and there's no microtransactions, even though they're basically like phone games and shit. But I want you to pay attention to that part where we'll talk about the games that Hardlight have done. Because I mean, yes, of course they did Dash 1 and they did like Sonic Jump and Sonic Jump Fever, but a lot of the games they've done have been basically tie-ins to what's going on with the other console games. So like Sonic Racing was basically a stripped down, watered down version of Team Sonic Racing. Sonic Dash 2 Sonic Boom was just, let's make a Sonic Dash game but add Boom to it because Boom is the hot thing right now. I use hot very lightly. And then of course they had Sonic Forces Speed Battle, which honestly people seem to like more than regular Sonic Forces, to the point where they renamed it Sonic Forces on the App Store at some point. They are known to do tie-in games. So when they talk about a game that will understand the limitations of a mobile game but still push quality towards console levels, and they talk about creating highly compelling artwork and being the forefront of this new title, and it's a new, exciting, ambitious, narrative-driven platform game, narrative-driven, at the same time that Ian Flynn is penning Sonic Frontiers, it's clearly the Frontiers tie-in game, okay? They want to use the Frontiers name because they're pushing Frontiers. They're going to make big money off this game, right? People are going to buy it. I believe Frontiers will perform well from a sales perspective, and for them to make a mobile tie-in version, look at games like Genshin Impact. Open world mobile games are a big thing right now. For them to have a Frontiers mobile version that essentially takes elements of Frontiers and then does it in a style that can be heavily microtransaction-ified, assuming the main version doesn't have microtransactions, then I don't see why they wouldn't do it. I made a video a while ago, or a long while ago, where I talked about how a kid spent like $16,000 on Sonic Forces, and people got surprised, like, how's that possible? And then they clicked on the video and it was like, the mobile version, because of the microtransactions. You could spend $16,000 on the mobile version of Forces, but you couldn't spend that on the main version unless you bought, like, I just did the math, like 400 copies at $40 a pop. So there's a good chance that Frontiers Mobile could be way more lucrative than main Frontiers if they get enough active players and enough whales paying for microtransactions. And I mean, I guess it's another game to try out, right? It's going to be free to play most likely, so I'll give it a go, see what it's about. Who knows, maybe it will be better than the main Frontiers. Anyway, I saw this 4chan post in Gamer Guide's video and it really was interesting. I wanted to read it out and discuss it because it's very important. It kind of discusses why Sonic Team don't cater to us. So I wanted to read through it and give my thoughts on it because it's a very important topic, okay? So I think the original post was talking about how Azuka did that interview with Game Informer and basically said there was no Child Garden in Frontiers, and they were like, why is there no Chao Garden? We want Chao Garden. Because Iizuka himself in that same interview said that the most requested thing from fans was the Chao Garden. So it's really funny when you say that the most requested thing from fans is a Chao Garden, but you don't put in a Chao Garden. And then this guy comes with the response. And for the record, I don't really care that much about the Chao Garden. Like, I used to like it when I was a kid. I don't really care that much about it now. I got bored of it. I had a Tamagotchi, like I was from that era, but it wasn't like the end of the world for me to never see a Chao Garden again. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, the response is this. The answer is way simpler than any of you realize, and it's the same reason why you won't get any of the other kinds of specific games you've been bitching about for the past 20 or more years. After trying and failing, or succeeding but still getting bitched at in some cases, I'm guessing like games like Unleashed, which in my opinion was a success, and a lot of fans' opinion was a success, but they still got lambasted because, you know, the classic fans didn't like the werehog and all that shit. To meet the impossible demands and unrealistically and undeservedly high standards and expectations that people have over Sonic by trying to make what others want, Frontiers and Iizuka's one statement where he essentially told everyone to shut the fuck up and wait to play the game instead of acting like they already knew everything about it makes it very clear what's going on. That shut the fuck up thing, I cover that in a video, you can check that one out. They just don't want to. That's it. They're tired and they don't want to make things they're not interested in anymore. Iizuka in particular finally wants to make a Sonic game he himself is actually interested in and invested in, and Frontiers is that game. I mean, he seemed pretty invested in Colors, I'm not gonna lie. Iizuka and his team likely doesn't even fully understand what most people want, I agree with that, or why, because most of you don't even know what you want or why it would be good. You can't even agree on what the good games in the franchise are, and even amongst the classic shit, anyone would get sick of dealing with that. I swear Sonic's real biggest problem is having too many different kinds of fans that never decided to just fuck off forever when the thing they liked left and clung to the franchise for decades, thinking they were owed something for doing so when they could have been playing other franchises instead. With the advent of both movies being huge successes, it's fitting that Iizuka finally realized the smartest move he could make was to finally make a game he actually wanted that a completely fresh and new audience will enjoy, and essentially say fuck those guys to the bitter old fans who will end up getting dwarfed by the new mainstream casual crowd that's somehow significantly more open-minded. And the best part, it's working, as most folks that played it like it. Now I want to discuss that because there's some things I agree with and there's some things I disagree with. I do believe that the new casual mainstream crowd is taking over. That's facts, and I've been saying that. This is kind of the reason why when people say why aren't you hyped for this and that and whatnot, it's because I know that they don't want to cater to us, right? It's very easy for them to just leech onto this new fan base that they built from the movie success and just make games that hardcore fans from yesteryear are gonna be like, well, it doesn't have momentum, it doesn't have this or whatever, but the new casuals are like, it's fast and it's open world, it's Sonic, I'll buy, you know what I mean? But then to blame fans for saying that we don't know what is good and what is bad, even though we know that it's like different groups of fans and we all got our own different opinions based on those groups, that's not really the fans' fault, because at the end of the day, it's the same Sonic team that decided to drastically change the formula every how many years and create that segmented fan base. That segmented fan base wouldn't have existed if they had just kept to a formula and just refined it over time, right? And obviously, yes, it's been 31 years, things can get stale over time, but they've changed Sonic's formula a million times. It's not like a few groups of fans. I mean, you got the three main ones like Classic, Adventure, Boost, but like there's so much nuance even within that. Like Adventure 1 is very different from Adventure 2, very different from Heroes. Unleashed is very different from Colors, even though they're both Boost titles. Like there's so much difference, and they created that difference. So they can't be like, we're sick of this segmented fan base who don't know what they want, because you created that, right? So they have to take some responsibility for that. But again, they don't really have to take responsibility anymore because they could just latch onto the next new fan base. And once they milk that fan base and they don't know how to cater to the movie era of fans or whatever games this new generation wants, then they'll try and do it again and find another fan base. I mean, long-running franchises are always going to piss off people because you can't cater to the same people forever, right? So yeah, it's going to hurt naturally if you were a fan of the franchise from a certain period and they don't want to cater to the things that you like, mainly because they can't. They don't know how. Like, Iizuka doesn't know how to make a good adventure game today. I'll say that right now, okay? If they remade Adventure right now, Sonic Team, I would not trust them to do it properly because they don't understand what we like about the games. I mean, they know like the Chao Garden and things like that, but like the core fundamental movement and the feel and so many things I'm not gonna get into right now, but they don't know. So they're just like, fuck it, we'll just do something new and we'll latch onto this new fan base. Cool. Now, when he mentions high standards, I don't think Sonic fans have got ridiculously high standards, because otherwise we wouldn't defend things like Colors Ultimate, Forces when it was coming out, you know, all these things like that. I mean, one of my favorite Sonic games is 06. Like, I think what we want is the foundation at the end of the day, like the foundational gameplay, what made Sonic iconic. I think that's what we care about the most, and that's the thing that's been missing for a lot of time. Like, if you love the Boost hasn't been truly great since Generations. That was 11 years ago. If you love Adventure, well, we haven't gotten that in a long time, you know that. Classic Sonic Sonic fans, they had that moment with Mania, so they're still kind of happy right now. I mean, that was half a decade ago, and you would have think they would have milked that and made a 2 or some kind of follow-up, but that's a whole nother story. Now, the part where he says too many different kinds of fans that never decided to just fuck off from the thing they liked left, and they clung to the franchise for decades thinking they were owed something. I get what he's saying here, because at the end of the day, people are gonna feel like they're owed something. You grew up with the franchise. Like, I grew up in the adventure era. I love games like SA1, Heroes, and parts of SA2, and it's like, even boost games like Unleashed, it's hard to see them stray away from that, you know, because like in my heart I want them to go back to that, but my logical brain is like, they're not doing that. They're not going back to that. They don't even understand what you liked about that. They're here making dashing like a maniac and simplifying the formula for a new crowd, right? So why not just leave, right? It makes logical sense to just leave. We are not owed anything just because they made things we liked in the past. It's not like there's a gun to your head saying buy the game, right? If you don't like the game, it doesn't cater to you, just don't buy it. Simple as that. But I think the reason why people cling on is because everything in life is about options, right? Like if you're dating someone and you're not the most compatible, but you stay with them, the only reason you stay with them is because in your head, you're not convinced that you have the options. You're not convinced that you could find someone you're more compatible with like that, right? You're afraid that you might not be able to, so you stay. Or let's say, why do you get a 1-bedroom apartment instead of getting a 2 or a 3-bedroom apartment, right? It's because you don't have the option. Maybe you don't have enough money to afford the rent for a 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom. You only got enough to get a 1-bedroom. You like the option, so you stay in the 1-bedroom. Similarly with Sonic blew up because it was unique, right? There was nothing like Sonic. There were platformers, of course. They're great 3D platformers. To this day, great 3D platformers still coming out. But if we look at the 90s, we look at Sonic Adventure, Super Mario 64, Crash 1, they're all great games, but they're all very different. And yes, you could be playing other franchises, and we play other franchises. I play other franchises of games. I play other platformers. I play other action adventure titles, racing games, whatever it is. But it's all about the options. When it comes to that Sonic gameplay, options have been limited for a long time. Now, if you're a classic fan, that's not true, because I feel like within the 2010s, when it came to fan content or original games inspired by that Sonic formula, you guys got tons, like ROM hacks for Sonic that were just like taking that formula and giving you guys new levels and all those things. Classic fans have been very well satiated in the 2010s, even outside of official content, right? I've seen so many great classic fan games coming out. For the 3D fans though, I mean, there's some fan games, there's 3D fan games, but it's slowly getting to the point where maybe the 3D fan games will get to where the classic fan games were in the 2010s, where there were just so many good ones. But I feel like we're just not there yet. And that's what the issue is the lack of options. I made a video saying, can we fix this game regarding Sonic Frontiers? And I kind of discussed this topic a bit more there. I talked about like Spark the Electric Jester 2 and Spark 3, the demo, which is heavily inspired by the adventure era games. But yeah, ultimately, if there were other games that played like the adventure games, people wouldn't stick around here as much because they don't need to rely on it. But as long as Sonic still has the monopoly on that Adventure 1, Adventure 2 gameplay or Heroes gameplay or whatever, people are gonna feel like begrudgingly like they're clinging onto the franchise because no one else is doing it, so we have to cling here and hope that they do it here. At the end of the day, we can't control what Iizuka does or what direction he takes the franchise into, so the only way to let go of something that you grew up with as a kid is if that thing gets recreated somewhere. Just like with Monkey Ball, we got Rolled Out, which really recreated the physics. I covered that on Premy's non-Sonic channel, link in the description, and that was a really good recreation of Super Monkey Ball's original physics. And funnily enough, Sega went and made Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania, which basically took the original games and somewhat remade them. I mean, they used a lot of old textures, but remade in a new engine, and the physics were off. And people made mods to fix the physics back to the original game's physics. It's kind of interesting that an original game came and took the physics and did them again, but Sega themselves couldn't do it to the exact standard that people wanted, so mods had to come in and improve them. But yeah, the point of this video is the power is in the options, okay? We don't have the options, so Sega have the power. The moment we get the options, the moment there's more original games that have the gameplay that you like, the more you can just move on from Sega shit and stop buying their games. Now again, I'm not saying Frontiers is going to be bad. I'm just saying it's not going to be an adventure era fan's dream is all. It's not the same thing as bad, okay? Before you're gonna say, Prem is dissing Frontiers again. No. I think Frontiers is gonna do very well in the casual market. Obviously, the casuals don't have the same standards because they're casual fans, but you know, it is what it is. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about these topics. Are you looking forward to that Frontiers mobile tie-in game? Or what do you think about this post on 4chan discussing fans and Iizuka's lack of desire to cater to fans? And of course, a big shout out to all my channel members. If you want to become a channel member, you click the join button next to the subscribe button. But yeah, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell. Make sure to check out the non-Sonic channel. The link will be in the description. But that's all I have to say right now. So, Premy out.